Hello and welcome to MIAA Access. The semester is coming to an end, but the action for spring athletics is only getting started. I'm your co-host, Brad Haydank.
And I'm also your co-host, River Riley. Today we're going to take a look at the MIAA softball and baseball athletes of the week, as well as how each school has set themselves up going into the conference tournaments. You're watching MIAA Access with Brad Haydank and River Riley. Last week we saw some spectacular performances on the softball diamond, but there were two players in particular who put their teams in a position to finish the season strong.
Yeah, that we did. For our MIAA Hitter of the Week for Week 13 of the 2026 season, it was senior Kennedy Clark. Clark led number 17 Central Oklahoma to a road split last week, sweeping number 2 ranked Pittsburg State before losing at number 12 Missouri Southern. The senior first baseman recorded a hit in all 4 games, finished the week 5 for 12 overall with 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a pair of runs scored. She also drew 2 walks on the week.
In the MIAA doubleheader sweep of the Gorillas last Friday, April 24th, Clark went 2 for 4 with a solo home run in the Broncos game. 1 5-2 win, then 1 for 2 with a double and 3 RBIs in a 73 Game 2 victory at Missouri Southern on Saturday. Clark went 1 for 3 in both games with a 3-run home run in Game 1 and an RBI single in Game 2. This is Clark's first MIAA Hitter of the Week honors this season and the Broncos' 3rd Hitter of the Week overall.
What a week for Kennedy Clark. Now, let's swing over to the defensive side of the field as we look at our pitcher of the week. That would be Andy Siebenek of the Central Missouri Jennies.
Andy Siebenek helped the Jennies to a pair of doubleheader sweeps this past week against Missouri St. Louis and Nebraska Kearney. In 3 appearances, the senior collected 2 wins and a save while tossing 14 innings overall. In 55 at-bats, she allowed only 2 earned runs scored and an ERA of .98, and 12 strikeouts for good measure.
Against the Tritons in St. Louis, Siebenek earned a save in Game 1's 7-5 win with a scoreless inning and 1 strikeout for grabbing the start and the victory in Game 2's 8-2 win with 6 innings pitched, allowing 2 runs on 8 hits with 4 strikeouts. The doubleheader finale against the Lopers on Senior Day, Siebenek threw a complete game shutout, allowing 3 hits and striking out a career-high 7 batters in the winning effort. She is the first Jenny to earn an MIAA Athlete of the Week honor in the 2026 season.
Now, Brad, let's take a look at how these athletes helped their teams this week in the MIAA softball standings.
Yeah, looking at the standings for the MIAA in softball, a lot of things have shaken up in the standings, but as you look down the list, it's been a strong season in the MIAA. You see some of those teams near the bottom are still top 8 in the regional rankings, River. It's been a strong season in the MIAA.
Yes, it has been, Brad. It's been pretty close. You know, some of those conference records are pretty close between the teams, so who knows how it'll shake up within this next week.
Yeah, Pittsburg State has been on fire all season. We've seen them as high as 2 recently on the national rankings. They're 45-6 overall, 17-5 in the conference. But then you have a team like Missouri Southern, who is in first place in the MIAA right now, even above Pittsburg State, 18-4 MIAA record, 43-7 overall. You can go down the list, UCO in 3rd, ESU in 4th, Rogers State in 5th, Jennies in 6th. You can keep going down. The Jennies right now, the number 8 team in the regional ranking, and as I said, they're 6th in the MIAA. It really shows the strength of this MIAA conference, especially on the softball diamond this season. And who knows how these standings will shape up in a week as we gear up for the MIAA Conference Tournament hosted by the Hornets of Emporia State. That's from Wednesday, May 6th through Sunday, May the 10th.
Yeah, I think we're really in for a good tournament coming up next week, Brad, as we got a lot of competitive teams there. Who knows who will come out with the win there?
Yeah, you can look for tickets with that QR code. If you scan that QR code that is on your screen, that will take you to the site for tickets at the Tressler Sports Complex there in Emporia, Kansas.
Yeah, only time will tell, Brad, but one thing is for sure, these ladies are ready to compete and earn that automatic bid to the regional final. Through April 27th, here's how these standings look for the current Central region.
Yeah, I talked about the Central region earlier, and things have really shaken up. You see the Central Missouri Jennies there in the 8th spot. Then you see Emporia State in the 10th spot. Recently, Emporia State did sweep a doubleheader in Warrensburg against Central Missouri. So those records haven't shifted since then. These are the records as of when the rankings came out. But a lot could shape up with games like that. And then you have to look at what is coming up with the MIAA tournament coming, as you saw Pittsburg State and Missouri Southern 1 and 2 on those regional rankings.
Yeah, Brad, with a few of these teams taking losses this week, we expect to see some major changes in that rankings, most definitely. Don't go anywhere. As we move over to the baseball side of the conference, we'll be right back on MIAA Access.
Since our founding in April 1931, every trooper who has worn this uniform has earned it.
I had a
Thousands
reader.
of men and women
30
apply
seconds
to
of
be a Missouri
silence.
State trooper. Few are chosen. Only the elite are successful. Make no mistake, this training is hard, and the job that follows is even harder. There will be moments when you're tired, frustrated, and pushed to your limits. That's when you'll rely on your strength, your training, and your sense of purpose. This profession demands that of you. But with that demand comes honor of protecting others, of wearing this uniform, and continuing a proud tradition that began more than a century ago. I want to see every one of you walk across that stage on graduation day, proud, prepared, and ready. So dig deep, push harder, earn it. Can you do that for me?
Sir, yes, sir!
Welcome back to MIAA Access. Missouri Western swept this week's honors in baseball with Seth Winkler named the MIAA Hitter of the Week and Cam Sala named the MIAA Pitcher of the Week.
Seth Winkler put together a strong 4-game week for Mo West hitting, batting .526, 10 for 19 with an MIAA leading 8 runs scored, 5 RBIs, 3 home runs, and a 1,053 slugging percentage. The Griffins opened up the week with a 12-11 loss to Northwest Missouri last Tuesday, where Winkler went 2 for 5 with a home run and an RBI. In the first game, the MIAA series, Arkansas Fort Smith on Saturday, the junior second baseman turned in one of his best performances of the week, going 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored, a double, a home run, and an RBI in a 4-2 win. In Game 2 against the Lions, he added 1 hit and a walk and an RBI in another 12-11 loss.
Winkler closed the weekend with another big outing, going 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a home run in a series-clinching 16-4 win on Sunday, April 26th. Overall, Winkler reached base at a .550 clip, totaled 3 multi-hit games, and powered the offense with 3 long balls across the 4-game stretch. He's only the second Griffin to earn the MIAA Hitter of the Week honor this season. That came with Miguel Cantu in Week 9.
And apparently he wasn't the only Griffin having themselves a week last week. Let's look at the performance from redshirt junior Cam Sala. Griffin baseball wrote a no-hitter performance on the mound as Cam Sala led Mo West to a 4-2 win over Arkansas Fort Smith on Saturday in Game 1 of the MIAA header.
Sala tossed all 9 innings without allowing a hit, striking out 7 while working around 5 walks and a hit by pitch. Despite traffic on the bases, Sala maintained control throughout and did not surrender an earned run, with both runs against him coming unearned. Finished the outing with 125 pitches, consistently stepping up in key moments to escape jams and preserve the no-hit effort.
Not too often we get to see a no-hitter in this league, Brad, especially this late in the season. But at the same time, I'm not surprised just because of the pure competitiveness that we see from this league.
Things sure are starting to shape up in the standings as these teams go into their final series of the season this weekend. Let's take a look at those standings in the MIAA. As we talked about, things continue to shake up, and there's a lot of differences in these standings than last year. There's some teams you expect to see near the top that aren't quite there. There's some teams who have had some very good performances as well this season, River.
Yes, Brad, and it's been Pittsburg State's story all season, leading the league in not only batting average, but also ERA, which offense and defense, that puts you in a pretty good shape at the end of the season.
Yeah, if you look at how Pittsburg State's season ended last year, they were in the Central Super Regional. They played in Warrensburg against Central Missouri. They got swept. Ever since then, they've been wanting to get back to that point. They've put together a very strong season, 38-8 overall, 25-8 in the MIAA. They have won 10 straight to get to this point, the Pittsburg State Gorillas. But you can't ignore any of these other teams. Look at a Rogers State, 37-10 overall. They're second place in the MIAA, also with a record of 25-8. That matches Pittsburg State in the MIAA record with 25-8. So there's some of these teams, River, that have had great performances this year. You look at a Central Missouri, a little bit of a down year. They're fifth in the MIAA right now, but they're still a 30-plus win team, 34-12 overall.
Exactly, Brad. That just shows how many great teams are coming out of this league this year. You know, the regional rankings are looking pretty good. Just very competitive all around for this league.
6 MIAA teams right now are 30-plus win teams. Emporia State in 6th place in the conference, 32-15 overall. Still a great record. The MIAA has been very strong this season.
Yeah, Brad, it's going to be interesting to see what these standings look like come Wednesday, May 6th, as the teams head to Edmond, Oklahoma, home of the Central Missouri Broncos, to battle for the 2026 MIAA Conference Championship.
Winner of that tournament will guarantee themselves a spot in the Central Regional Championship, which appears to be anyone's ball game to win at this point.
Yeah, Brad, as we look at the championship, you know, if anybody's making their trip out to Edmond, Oklahoma, they can scan this QR code on the screen, get their tickets there.
Yeah, the University of Central Oklahoma, the host this season, you said it, Edmond, Oklahoma, May 6th through May 10th at Wendell Simmons Field.
All right, as you said, Brad, let's take a look at those regional rankings and how some of these MIAA teams are shaping up there.
And you look at the regional, and look at the top 3, all MIAA, top 5, 4 of them come from the MIAA conference. Talked about how it's been a star-studded conference. Then you look at the regional. The top 2 teams will get to host. Right now it is Pittsburg State and Rogers State, again, both of the MIAA. Central Missouri trying to get into a host spot. They would need to sweep Missouri Southern this weekend and then perform well at the MIAA tournament to climb there. But then you also look at Minnesota State, who is in the running for that as well.
Yeah, Brad, it really looks like it could be anybody's ball game in the Central Regional at the moment. Well, that's all we have for you fans this week. This has been the MIAA Access on the MIAA Network. I'm your co-host, River Riley.
Yeah, you didn't think you were getting out of it that easy, did you? We have one more surprise segment coming for you, River.
Oh, it's my turn.
And that comes right at you right after this. Welcome back to MIAA Access. If you look through our last 2 episodes, I've been on the wrong side of some surprises. We saw Snoop Dogg back there from our executive producer, Darren Plummer, in episode 1. And then I got made fun of for my takes on birds last week. So I think it's time to turn the tide. River, we're going to turn this one to you. I have some trivia for you this week as a little bit of payback for the birds.
So you're going to try and embarrass me now is what you're saying.
Hopefully.
All right.
Hopefully.
I'm
afraid we made it a little too easy for River today, so we'll see if he can get some of these easy questions. But
let's see.
Let's start with question 1. You know the Hollywood sign? You know, in Hollywood.
I'm familiar with it.
You're familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. So those letters on the sign, do you think those are taller or shorter than the base paths on a softball field?
Well, Brad, so you're just talking like from home to first.
I'm talking home to first, just to stand, or first to second, or second to third.
I guess it doesn't matter. They're all the same.
They are all the same.
60 feet, Brad.
They are all 60 feet. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I umpire in my free time, Brad, so I think I kind of have an idea.
How tall is a
but
Hollywood sign
How
letter,
tall
though?
is a Hollywood sign? I've never been to Hollywood, so I can tell you how tall. Is it 60 feet tall, though? I'm going to say no.
The options are taller or shorter.
I'm going to say shorter.
You're going to say shorter. Well, that is correct. 45 feet, a Hollywood sign letter. Good start, good start. It only gets easier from here. Which do you think, for question 2, would be longer? The distance from home plate to the pitching rubber on a baseball field, or the length of a bowling lane?
So 60 feet 6 inches is what you're telling me, Brad. Is it longer or shorter than that?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to, bowling lane. I think the bowling lane is longer.
You think the bowling lane is longer?
Yes, I do.
A bowling lane
Really? How long?
is 60 feet.
Is that
And
to
you
the
said
first pin?
Pitching rubber is 60 feet 6 inches. So you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Off by 6.
Unfortunate.
All right.
Unfortunate.
That was close.
Close is not good enough. Good enough is the thief of great. Let's go to number 3. If you ran the height of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, so you just run up it like the side, how far would you get around the softball diamond? Would you get to first base?
What?
Would you get to second base? Third base? Would you get home run? Would you go home run like plus a bag?
So all together, it would be 240 feet. So I'm trying to think, how tall is the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Yeah. I'm going to say that the Leaning Tower of Pisa is shorter than all around. So I'd say you get to between third and home.
Wow. Yeah, just past third. It's 183 feet.
Spot
is
on.
the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm starting to
pretty
think
good at
I'm
this,
the
Brad.
one getting conned
Yeah.
right back at me.
You thought you had me this week, didn't you?
Let's go to number 4. Which would you say is wider, an airplane seat in coach or home plate? Which is
Airplane
wider?
seat. I'm going airplane seat.
You're just right away.
Just right off the bat. I think
Are
it's
you
got to
sure?
be airplane
Is that your
seat.
final answer?
Yeah, I mean, those coach seats are nice.
Yeah, that's not right. Can you try again?
Well, then I'll go with home plate.
Yeah, you're also wrong. They're the same. They are the same width. They're the
Trick
same
question.
width. Got him. Got him on number 4.
I didn't know there's going to be any tricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you right now? 2 for 4?
That's not bad.
Trying to get above 50%.
I
We have one more
thought
for
it was
you.
going to be hard, Brad.
We have one more for you.
Okay.
If you hit a ball at Wendell Simmons Field the length of the Statue of Liberty, would it be a home run?
Where is Wendell Simmons Field?
That's the host in Edmond, Oklahoma. That was in the question that I said, if you're listening.
I wasn't.
Well,
so.
typical.
Yeah, usually.
If
learn
you've
that.
seen this
I
show,
usually
you know.
learn to tune out Brad every once in a while. You know how much he's talking.
Yeah.
Hearing it all the time. Well,
Yeah.
So home run at Wendell Simmons or Statue of Liberty. If I'm right, Statue of Liberty is what, like 90 meters or something?
I only talk in terms of feet right now.
Well,
so you need to convert
we
that
are in
for me.
America, so feet only. I'm going to go Statue of Liberty is longer than a home run at Wendell Simmons.
You think it's longer than a home run? How long do you think a home run is to Wendell Simmons?
Like, which part of the ballpark are we talking, though? Because
Let's
there's
go
going
up
to
the
be
right
different.
field line.
Right field line, I would
field
probably
line.
say 310?
330.
330,
It's
okay.
330 straight out there, and the Statue of Liberty is 305 feet. That's incorrect.
I was close.
We should have had a sound effect, like like the Family Feud.
I think that's
how
too
I
far.
that's how I
too
feel
far.
for you
We
right
didn't
now.
do that for you last week, Brad.
2 for 5.
I think you're just trying to
performance.
take your anger out on me from last week.
100%. That's 40%. How do you feel about that one?
Well, it's not too bad, I guess. You know,
Not
you
too bad.
kind of tricked me on a couple of those.
Of course. I don't know
Throwing
when
in those
40% is not too
random
bad.
units of measurement, like a Hollywood sign, the Statue of Liberty, an airplane seat. What are these units of measurement, Brad?
You made me think of birds. Which is harder?
Well, I thought you
Birds.
seemed like you had a fascination with birds, so
do.
I figured you would
I do
have
now
had
have
some
a
knowledge
fascination
there.
with birds. I know what an osprey is.
Now you
Maybe
do.
you can learn something.
All right, I'll do my research then, I guess. A little
Anyway,
bit more.
I hope you all learned something on the show this week with our trivia that was very relevant to the MIAA. I've been Brad Haydank.
And I've been River Riley.
Thank you for tuning in to MIAA Access.